Alright guys, so this is a video I've been meaning to do for quite a while. And you know what? Better now than ever kind of deal. I want to talk to you guys about my experience with anxiety. And I'm not talking about like, oh, I'm worried about this test, or oh, these bills are stressing me. I'm talking about irrational, clinical anxiety. Like, I'm talking about can't function anxiety and panic attacks. And I feel like if I had gone out and found good information, maybe I wouldn't have suffered so long. So that's why I'm making these videos. I'm gonna cut it up into 2 videos because I know I'm gonna blab and blab and blab, and I'm sorry, but it's a big deal to me. I feel it's really important and I don't want to cut corners with it. So I'm gonna cut it into 2 videos. The first video is going to be my symptoms and you know, how I got diagnosed, things like that. And then the second video is actually going to be my treatment. And I wanted to split it up because maybe there's some people out there who are like, I don't know, do I have anxiety? You know, maybe this first video will help. And then there are probably other people out there who are like, yeah, duh, I know I have anxiety. How do I fix it? You know? And so that video's for them. And then, you know, if somebody's just curious, they can watch both of them. But I know they're going to be long, but I hope you guys will kind of sit down, grab a drink, grab a snack, whatever, and just kind of, you know, talk with me about it, and or I guess listen to me talk. But obviously I am open to comments, private messages. If you want to talk to me about this and you don't feel comfortable putting your situation out there in the YouTube atmosphere, because there are plenty of trolls and I completely understand that, please private message me. I would love to talk to you, okay? You know, there are people who text me at 3 in the morning and, you know, I wake up and talk to them about it because this, you know, is really important to me. It's something severe. You know, this is not something that makes you weak. You're not weak because you have anxiety. Somebody call me weak, I'd punch their teeth out, because I'm not weak. I am a strong-willed Texas woman who will take on all comers and conquer any situation, okay? And anxiety put me down on my knees. It made it so I was barely functioning, and I don't consider that a weakness of mine. I could not control what was happening to my body, and you know what? I'm not ashamed of it, and don't let anybody put you down if you have this problem. Anyway, let's get started. My anxiety started when I was about 21, so towards the end of my sophomore year of college. And mine was not triggered by any event. I wasn't stressed. College was easy. Life was good. You know, it wasn't, you know, I didn't get triggered into my anxiety by a stressful event, which happens for a lot of people. For me, it was, my anxiety is completely hereditary, at least because I can follow it up my family tree. So I believe mine's hereditary, and people with hereditary anxiety, it normally kicks in their early 20s. So that's what happened to me, and I started noticing, I felt like I couldn't breathe as well. Like, I'd be leaving campus, walking to my car, trekking to my car, as anybody who has been to college knows, and I just felt like I couldn't, you know, I felt like I was running out of breath when I shouldn't. I was very active at the time. I was doing kickboxing and Pilates and yoga and running and gym and whatever, but I felt like I couldn't, I used to explain it to the doctors. I felt like my lung was in a cup, and I would try to breathe and I just couldn't take that full breath. And I went into the doctor and they did a breath test on me, and they're like, oh, you have asthma, because my airflow was restricted. So I started taking asthma medicine, and it didn't do jack for my anxiety. I was still having that feeling of like I couldn't breathe. And that's scary. One of my biggest fears in life is suffocation. And so that would start making me freak out, and then I would start having panic attacks. During this time, I was living with my parents. I kept it to myself mostly. and I would try and calm myself down by watching things that were very calming. For me, it was baseball. Just, you know, chill, watch some baseball, take a deep breath, kind of calm down. Cartoons sometimes worked, stuff like that. Disney movies, I loved watching Disney movies, helped me calm down. Things that were very childish, very, you know, no killing, no action, no whatever. Things that were just very kind of calm and happy and just helped calm me down. I mean, it was annoying, but then it started getting worse to where it was kind of invading my life. Like, you know, I made my mom take me to the hospital, you know, right after a family birthday party because, you know, you know, I couldn't breathe and the asthma medicine wasn't working and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, that's expensive. And, you know, it scares my parents when I'm telling them to take me to the hospital. I'm scared. And, you know, I get to the hospital and I tell the guy I can't breathe and he goes, well, I don't know, you're not blue in the face. I was about ready to rip his balls off. Like, yeah, I'm not blue in the face, but, you know, whatever. Anyway, so when he told me I had anxiety, I didn't want to listen to him because he was a dickbag. So I basically gave him a mental middle finger and moved on with my life. He gave me tranquilizers. I took him at the hospital, but, you know, I didn't think about it 2 more times because he was an asshole. And so I didn't want to listen to anything he had to tell me. So continued on with all my issues, and eventually I went to the doctor and I was sitting there talking with him, and, you know, we were still trying to figure out what was going on because it obviously wasn't asthma. I had done cardiac tests where they hooked me up to a heart monitor. I had done like lung tests where I got on a treadmill and they hooked me up to see how my breathing was, and that came back fine. So that's when they were like, oh, I guess maybe you don't have asthma. You know, I didn't have a heart problem. You know, I was like, why can't I figure out what's wrong with me? I was sitting down with my doctor and I kept breathing like that, and he asked me, you know, do you breathe like that often? And I told him that I did, and he said, I think you have anxiety. And I was like, you think I have anxiety because I take deep breaths? What he told me was that they are called cleansing breaths, and it's something that people with anxiety do to kind of reassure themselves that everything's okay, you know, that their body's working. It kind of calms you down, it kind of replenishes yourself, and it's something that a lot of people with anxiety do. And my primary care physician was not a dickbag, so when he told me that, I listened to him, and he prescribed citalopram, and I started taking it, and, you know, my anxiety went away. However, the anxiety medicines oftentimes have side effects. TMI, citalopram killed my libido, and it also made me really grumpy, like really like super bitch mode all the time, and that was really hurting my relationship at the time. And so eventually I decided to quit taking my medicine. Now, if you are experiencing this type of situation, please do not quit taking your medicine. Please work through your issues. Please talk with your doctor. You know, work with your issues with your loved one. Do not stop taking your medicine. But that's what I did, which was a great idea on my part. And my anxiety reached a new level of bad after that. It started out slowly with just like general anxiety. And then I started having panic attacks, which were way more severe than they ever were before I started taking the citalopram. And it got to the point where I was having 3 to 10 panic attacks every day with constant anxiety in between the panic attacks. I was basically living my life hour to hour. I would get in my car to go to work and I would say, okay, Heather, let's get to work. Let's make the commute. You know, like you know, you're gonna survive to work. And then when I got to work, okay, Heather, you're gonna make it to lunch. When you know, that was my benchmark. Like, we're gonna make it to lunch. And then when I got to lunch, we're gonna make it to the end of the day. End of the day, we're gonna make it home. When I got home, eat and then go to bed. So I was living my life like, you know, like somebody with like a death sentence, like any second, you know, something could leap out and kill me. Because one thing that I've noticed with anxiety is it tends to cause people to have really irrational fears. And they're different for everybody. For me, mine was, I was scared I was gonna die constantly. Like, my toe could hurt and it was a blood clot that was gonna kill me. Or, you know, my arm felt funny, maybe I'm having a heart attack. Or, you know, oh, my jaw hurts. You know, like anything that I felt, it was something that was gonna kill me. And it was a really vicious cycle, because anxiety causes a lot of those issues. You know, all the tight chestedness from my anxiety made me feel like I was having heart attacks. You know, your anxiety can cause chest pain, it can cause numbness, it can cause shaking, it can cause 1,000,010 things, and then each one of those symptoms that I was having was looping back into me thinking I was dying. So, I suffered these panic attacks very internally. I internalized everything. I'd be sitting next to my husband having a panic attack and he wouldn't know it. Until I kind of told him about the breathing thing, and then he was kind of able to pick up on when I was having panic attacks. But, you know, just because somebody's not running around screaming, flailing their arms, doesn't mean they're not having a panic attack. Internally, it's chaos. I mean, you feel like you're dying, you feel like you're jumping out of your skin, you feel like the world is ending, you feel like you just have to get out of where you are. You know, there's 1,000,010 things you feel. And I would just be sitting there watching TV, feeling all that stuff on the inside. And while I was functioning, you know, I went to work every day. That was about all I did. I quit doing anything that was remotely a hobby. You know, I quit going out with friends, because you're tired all the time. You're scared all the time. You quit wanting to do the things you love. That's a symptom with depression. It's a symptom with anxiety too. I didn't realize it and you don't really realize you're having that issue until you come out of the fog, until you come out of that black hole you're in. I mean, this is kind of gross, but I want to be honest with you guys. I wasn't brushing my teeth. I wasn't wearing anything but gym shorts and t-shirts unless I was putting on pants, like jeans, to go to work. You know, I was on bare functioning mode. I was eating, I was working so I could pay the bills, and I was sleeping. And that's what I was doing to get through the day. All that other shit was extraneous, and I didn't have time for that. I didn't have energy for that. I couldn't deal with any of that other stuff. So there was nothing else going on in my life except for survival, is how I felt. And, you know, I would, you know, have panic attacks in the middle of the night and go lay on the couch and watch, you know, Hercules from Disney or something. And I would have to do that until I could calm down enough to go to bed. Every once in a while, I couldn't control it. I would get so far out of whack that, I'd wake up my husband, who had to go to work at 4 a.m., fully dressed, saying, take me to the hospital. Take me to the hospital right now. I have to go to the hospital. I am dying. So I couldn't always control it, but most of the time I controlled it enough to function on that bare level. And I was losing a lot of weight because when you have anxiety, your body is in fight or flight mode. And it shuts down everything that's not important. And one thing that's not important to your body is digestion. So I was never hungry. So I lost a lot of weight. And I guess that's where I'll stop this video. And then we can talk about all my treatment steps in the next video. So let's go ahead, stop here. I hope I didn't talk your guys' ear off. I hope that something I said was helpful, and I will see you guys in my anxiety treatment video right after this.